Hello everyone, my name is Grace and welcome to Plumbob Cubed. So my Sims 3 is not working, it's being very annoying, but I've been watching a lot of Jake Blennings and part of his content is talking about queerness. And today is literally the last day of Pride Month and I feel like supporting the flag, supporting the flag, saluting the flag, okay? So I thought, why not do a very important video. Who in Sunset Valley is queer? Very important thing. These are fictional characters, and this is my headcanon, right? Over our categories, we have Through the First Brick at Stonewall, we have Queer Goes to Pride, and Queer Doesn't Go to Pride. Unfortunately, I am in the Queer Doesn't Go to Pride. I haven't gone yet, but I keep planning I'm going to go. I've just been really depressed. Like, every single June, I just get depressed. Like, I don't have seasonal depression, I just have depression. We have Ally, and we have Wouldn't You Like to Know Everboy, which is just all the children. That's a child. We don't know if they're queer or not. And we just have No. So I'm just gonna start by putting all our children in Wouldn't You Like to Know Everboy. That's important to me, just so I don't like slip up and accidentally say that someone's queer. Because again, that is a child. You cannot assume their sexuality because that is a child. So that's gonna be Arlo, Bella. This is Lisa or Darla? I think it's Darla. Kaylin, Miraji, Sam. It's not Sally French. Ooh, it's not Molly French. Sandy French. And Mortimer. So that is our children that we just don't know if they're queer or not, since they are literal children still developing their entire personality. I am going to keep the teens out because teens are technically able to date. The first we have is Agnes. Agnes is an ally. And I hate to say that because Agnes literally, actually, if we go to the Plumbob, I know how to type my own handle, don't worry. But the first thing that shows up is Agnes Crumplebottom. Why is it not capitalized is a wonderful question. I'm pretty sure we date Agnes Crumplebottom. Yeah, the Crumplebottom and Love Wedding. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Agnes. I love her so much. But also, her husband, because they did get married, they did go on a honeymoon, dies on the honeymoon, and then her entire personality is dressing in black and being haunted by his ghost. And that's like her whole storyline. She's an ally, but she's not like maybe I could argue queer, but I genuinely do think she's an ally. She's just a little too centered around men. Here we have, oh girl, I know your name. I always trip up on your name and I'm always so nervous to say it. Aisha? I think Aisha is normally what I call her. So she is like this sporty tomboy, and I always see her as like not necessarily like, I always see her as like a queer woman. I'm not sure if she goes to Pride or not though. That's an important question. But she is definitely queer. One of the dead giveaways for queer woman is, I might as well just be honest here. Short hair. I feel like a lot of queer women go through a phase at some point in their lives where they just have to have short hair. And me and Aisha are in this phase together, okay? So does she go to Pride or not? I think she goes to Pride because when you're out on town, especially with the summer festival, you can see her out there a lot. And with the summer festival, I would argue that's kind of cool. That's kind of Pride, because like she's taking the soccer ball around. This is Beau. I don't know a lot about Beau. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't know a lot about Beau. And that is my fault. That is my fault. I know that he is married to Victoria and that Victoria is not pregnant, but she gets pregnant pretty like early on in my games. And depending on everything, depends on his faithfulness. I never really go out of my way to like befriend him. I think he's an ally with like Agnes because like he has a happy wife. They're just chilling. There's no reason not to be against queer people. This is Bebe Hart. So she starts out the game as a teenager. Her parents are Gus, and Dory Hart. So first off, with Bebe Hart, we know that she's like a mixed child, and so she has her Sims 3 afro textured hair is really bad because these are the limpest braids I have ever seen. So I'm pretty sure with my default replacement, it is most likely made by white people, not completely sure, and it like changes it into locks, so it looks a little bit better because I remember I was trying to make a sim based off like a picture that I found online. And like I love this picture. This woman is so pretty, and I was trying to make a sim based off of her. And I got to her hair and I was like, okay, she has braids. I'm gonna do the braids, but her braids were curly, so it didn't really work. But also like just the limpness had no texture. And I was like, oh, this hair looks bad. Shoot. So that's my grievance with Very Hard. But I think like she's having the braids to like embrace her like self-identity. And so I think she is queer, goes to Pride. I feel like she could be like a lesbian or bi or pansexual, even asexual, who knows? She's just like she's fully here exploring herself. Now we have girl, do I not know a name of someone in Sunset Valley? Oh my god. I want to call her Betty or Betsy. I know that she's a Clavel. So I know how to type because I know her name starts with B. Bessie. Bessie Clavel. So the name Bessie, I am now obsessed with. I'm now obsessed with the name Bessie because I played in a D&D group. I actually my entire bin of dice right here. If you ever want to see like some D&D stuff, comment down below. I was really into Legends and Llamas. I haven't like watched any of the series, but Llamas and Llamas specifically interests me because it's like combining D&D with The Sims, but it's The Sims 4. And so I would like to try it eventually, but The Sims 4, which kind of like scares me. I don't know. But we adopted a badger named Bessie, and you know why her name is Bessie? Because the goblins that like raised her called her the best. So she was like, my name's Bessie because I'm the best. She is so adorable. I love her so much. My mic just fell. Just terrifying. I'm trying to export another video right now. I filmed like a month ago and I thought it was done, but it's not. So Bessie, she is married to Clavel, and pretty much every single edition of their relationship just does not work. It does not work. Whenever I have NRAS story progression on, they break up. They get in fights. They do not get along. I would like to headcanon this as possibly Bessie being a little fruity, you know? Like the idea that they're like a lavender couple is interesting to me. So I'm gonna say she's queer, doesn't go to Pride. We have Blair here. Side tangent. So this is a side tangent that relates. I know that at a certain point in my life, I was like, I can't wear pigtails anymore because like it just looks too feminine or makes me look too childish. Blair wears pigtails. And, like I have worn pigtails since that like time in my life, mainly because I figured out how to make me look less like George Washington. But notably, Blair does have pigtails. She's kind of naive, like she's childish. She's a police officer, so like she believes in the justice system and how it works, I guess. I don't think she's queer. I don't think she's an ally ever either, but I don't want to put anyone in no. That's the whole point. I was gonna be like, Sunset Valley is so accepting. I think what I mean no, I mean it doesn't know what queer people. If I wanted to be one line, I should do queerness. Graphic design is my passion. I have done graphic design. That is my little day job. So I think she doesn't know about queerness. Like if she sees two women out or two men out holding hands, she's just like, they were roommates. And they were roommates. This is Boyd Wainwright. He's not queer. He is happily married to his wife, but he is an ally. Again, Lavender Marriage. Lavender Marriage, we have Mr. I know his name, Buster. And I actually want to adjust my rating. I feel like Bessie in their Lavender Marriage is queer and goes to Pride. Like, she's be the person who's, like, grandma giving out hugs. Meanwhile, Buster is the one who's, like, still dealing with all the internalized homophobia. This is Christopher Steele. So I know that Christopher Steele was kind of like created as like a blank character that like a sim could easily fall in love with and start a family. I've never done that actually, surprisingly. So with my knowledge of Christopher Steele is that I believe he and Justine had like a little bit of a rendezvous and he got very attached. I think he's a little bit of a himbo, if I recall correctly. So I feel like he doesn't know about queerness. He sees two men on the street and they were just like bromance. That's such a bromance. Like they kiss. Oh my god, me and the homies. Claire Ernstine. She's queer and doesn't go to Pride. And you want to know why? Fishing. She's an angler. She is be gay do crime of like, oh, I don't have good standing in life. I'm becoming a criminal and getting rich. Which is Be gay, do crime technically has to do with how being gay and the anti-sodomy laws, and so just being your authentic self was a crime. That's what it was. There's a shirt that I really want that's like, I break my state's anti-sodomy laws effectively, often, and extremely well. I want it so much. I want it so much. But I feel like I relate to Claire as a queer woman of like, her obsession is like fishing. She's really into fishing. She wants to be an angler, all that fishing stuff. And then we have me, another queer woman with my hobbies with D&D and crochet and The Sims, all that I bounce in between. So I feel like that's very like queerness of just like having something that you're really into. It's like just having like not necessarily like a grandma hobby, or having like a hobby that is of an older generation, like fishing is, you know? At least like when you're a woman. If you're a man and you're fishing, it's scary. Connor, he's a little introvert. I feel like he's also an ally. He has his books. He doesn't really dress well. Like, I feel like he's just an average straight man. And like, he supports the gays. Like, you know, this is Cyclone Sword. Cyclone, I get there's two vibes to him, right? One vibe is like 4chan Reddit incel with like the numbers in his name, like that's giving that. But then also, society has changed in recent years, and it can also be just like a really online guy, because like Cyclone Sword could be like a AO3 fic writer easily. He could be like a terminally online straight man, but he'd also be a terminally online gay man. And that's very simple. Or a bisexual. Or just queer. Labels are labels, okay? He could easily be any of that. And so I don't know where to put him. Because he's just, like, when he was made in 2009, I have no doubt that he was supposed to be about, like, the 4chan. But, like, there are gay people on 4chan. And also, it's kind of cunty to just be like, my name has letters in it now, and I legally changed it. Like, that's dedication that I don't feel like 4chan has. Like, a 4chan straight man would be like, no, that's my online name. To make it into your real life actual name of, you need to call me Cyclone Sword with a 3 and an O, that is giving gay. I don't feel like he threw the first brick at Stonewall, because he is, again, because he has that, like, thing of straightness. So I'm gonna say he's queer and doesn't go to Pride. Like, you're not sure, but you're just like, I see those letters in your names. That's a Tumblrina if I know one. So this is Dory Hart. She is in a relationship with Gus Hart. She is the mother to Bebe Hart. I don't think she's a lavender marriage, but I feel like I can relate to her. Guys, all the people that I'm putting in queer, I relate to. Who would have thought? Just saying. I feel like she married a man that she thought was funny and could tolerate, even though like she's really a lesbian. Like, she's kind of just like, oh, he doesn't help out with the house, but he's kind of funny. So she's like queer and goes to Pride, because it is like I'm not saying she's completely a lesbian, but like as a queer woman who can be attracted to men, it's very much like, oh, you're not gonna help me or anything. Like, you're just gonna kind of be there telling jokes, like entertaining me while I'm being queer. Yeah, that's fine too. This is Dustin Langerak. The Langeraks I confuse with the Bunches. They're very conventionally Western households with a lot of kids. Like, they give Utah vibes. I've been watching a lot. Hi, the YouTube channels I watch, Jake Blennings and Alyssa Greenfield. I watch a lot of their stuff. And so, like, he does give Mormon vibes to me. The blonde hair and I don't know if it's blue eyes or brown, but they close enough. Again, I really know about him in the context of him and Marty's friendship, mostly. And, like, he's just a chill dude with a lot of kids. So I feel like, okay, so I'm putting this in the context of what if one of his kids came out? What would his reaction be? I feel his reaction would just be like, yeah. So this is Emma Hatch. She's giving the short hair, and she's giving the goth aesthetic with the black lip, and I believe some of her other outfits. But I feel like Emma Hatch is definitely queer. She goes to Pride. She is happy with her lesbian wife. They own lots of cats, right? Erin Kennedy, known, she's aromantic because she is, that's a good point. I am so sorry. I put Connor Frio in the wrong category. He is a romantic, if I'm correct. Yes, because one of his traits is like, he's a romantic, so he's queer. Erin Kennedy is also a romantic, so she's queer. I'm so sorry. I was completely wrong, Connor Frio. You are absolutely queer. They're both, I believe, introverts. They've actually gotten married to each other in my games, and so I feel like they both would not go to Pride because there's like too many people. So what I know about Ethan is a teenager. I know that. Haven't interacted with him much, to be honest. He gives like queaky. I tried to combine nerdy and queer. Like a nerdy queer boy to me. So I'm absolutely saying that he is queer and he goes to Pride, right? This is Fiona McIrish. If anyone threw the first brick at Stonewall, I feel like it would be her. So it is her house. Fiona McIrish owns her house and she basically like rents it out or allows like Molly French to live there with them since they are like both parents. Molly's child is Sandy French. And Fiona McIrish, I feel like, also has a child? Yes, she has River McIrish, who was her child, right? So, like, the headcanon that a lot of queer people come up with is that they're, like, queer women living with each other, right? And, in my opinion, I think that she shows the examples, or she examples the queer community excellently. Because she extends an olive branch to someone else and says, I will support you. And literally one of the reasons that I got myself a house is so that means I can offer support to my friends if they need it. So like Fiona McIrish, I think she is through the first brick at Stonewall. Gobias, he is also through the first brick at Stonewall. And I can explain why. Because he was made inspired by like Tobias from a show. I don't remember what show. So he was inspired by this character, Tobias, which is an openly gay character. And so basically they placed him as like a gay sim, not an openly gay sim, but to be like, hey queers, we know you're there if you see our vision. And often they actually get married to each other with my story progression. So I argue it could be like a lavender marriage, or they could both be like bisexual queer people, but like I feel like they like saw each other at Stonewall throwing the first brick at the same time and they locked eyes and you know they happened to like move across town from each other, but you know maybe they like rekindle eventually, you know, because bi people, pan people, they're still queer regardless of who they're dating. So this is Gunther. So Gunther Goff is a man. He's into business. And I feel like there are two easy interpretations for him. One is like a ruthless businessman, and the other is a dumbass. And considering how often he's getting caught cheating on Cornelia and how he often gets demoted, I don't think he knows about queerness. Honestly, his aesthetic with the top hat and like the beard, honestly, I feel like if possible, if there was just like a soul patch. Isn't there just a soul patch one? Hank has just the soul patch one. I don't feel like he knows about queerness. I feel like he's living his own life, and I feel like he could easily get into a gay relationship, but I don't feel like he is like aware enough to be like, yes, gay people. Gus Hart. I'm putting him in doesn't know about queerness either, because like, or actually he does know about queerness because of his wife, Dory Hart. Is he an ally or does he not know about queerness? Because he's a doofus. The way that this hair is interpreted in my game is a mullet, which if he had like an actual mullet, I feel like that could bump him into Queer Goes to Pride. But I feel like he doesn't know about queerness. I feel like he's just like making his little pranks, being a silly, goofy guy. You know, I feel like he would be the kind of person to like stumble into like an MLM relationship and then just be like, oh yeah, this is my boyfriend, like Craig. And that'd be adorable. Like, I could see the Hearts in an open marriage. They could absolutely have a sitcom. Of how my immediate thing is a webtoon. I've been reading a lot of webtoons. There's a lot of good webtoons, like Canvas webtoons. I'm just saying, support independent creators. I feel like there could definitely be that about the Hart household. Hank has the soul patch, but he doesn't have like the chin strap in his defense. So he's not a complete like 2000s pickup artist in his defense, but I don't think he respects women. He doesn't respect women. He's always like Casanova or Gigolo. But also that soul patch, I do think that Hank is a straight man. I just don't know if he's an ally or not. Because I feel like, you know what? He is an ally. And he's at his beginning steps as an ally, right? Because I feel like he is the kind of straight man who would fetishize women loving women, and the fetishizing is not okay. However, I feel like in a couple years he could he could identify how he feels, why he feels that way, and like grow as a person and like understand that, you know, queer is not for the male gaze. And I think that he would get into men loving men too. I forgot a child. Malcolm also needs to go. Wouldn't you like to know what her boy? I'm so sorry, Malcolm. I forgot about you. I just remembered because Holly Alto and Malcolm like end up together in some games that I have because like the Romeo Juliet romance thing with story progression. So I was like, where's Malcolm? So Holly, she was raised by some very cutthroat parents. And I feel like she is a queer woman. She obviously did not throw the first brick at Stonewall because she has, first off, she's a teenager, which I'm just saying, teenagers could be, well, teenagers shouldn't have been at Stonewall because it was a bar, and that's underage drinking. So she should not be at Stonewall, so she could not throw the first brick. I don't know if she goes to Pride or doesn't go to Pride or not. I think she does go to Pride because I feel like she acts out against her parents of being like an openly good sim, and I do respect that for her. So now we have, I know her name starts with an I, and I always trust me up. She's the Langerak wife, Liliana. That's what I'm gonna call her, and she is a severe businesswoman, put together. She kind of reminds me of Mary Sue in The Sims 2 Pleasantview Let's Play. Check out episode 7. It was posted on Wednesday. I don't feel like she truly loves Dustin. I feel like she is there achieving what she has been taught is like her perfect life, of like the perfect life of having a successful career, having children. And I think her career gives her more fulfillment than like Dustin does ever. But I also can like kind of see them being cute. But like, I think she's queer and doesn't go to Pride. This is Iqbal. He has a single dad who works too hard, who loves the kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, he's a survivor. And I think he's queer. I don't think he goes to Pride though. I think he's busy raising his kids, making sure that JV is staying off the streets and behaving. Very hard work. I feel like he's a queer man. Jack, I have recently made a military friend. And this friend was in the military like 10 years ago. But they told me that the military is very gay. I'm not sure if they were fighting in like an empty warehouse or having an orgy. And so I feel like Jack has experimented. So I say he is queer, but does not go to Pride. So this is Jamie Jolina. She is a hardworking woman. She has her career. And I believe that yes. And if I'm correct, her storyline is that like how she is like attracting all the men to the yard and how she has high expectations and everything like that. I feel like she's a straight woman. I do want to point out the bias of this tier list now that I'm looking at it. I'm saying that a lot of women are gay while a lot of men are straight. And this has to do with my bias being raised in like queer women communities rather than like a queer men communities. And I will point out that bias to you. Think critically. This is not a like end all be all tier list. So Jamie Jolina, I feel like she doesn't know about queerness. I'm gonna be honest. She's a smart woman, but I feel like she focuses on her career, focuses on her own life, and like if she saw Pride, she would just be like, okay, is anyone any heat exhaustion? Like she wouldn't understand like the purpose. Jared is a mean gay. In my interpretation, he is a mean gay. So my thing is, as a mean gay, I feel like he would throw the first brick at Stonewall, because like the police would show up and he'd just be like, oh, you want to arrest me? Oh no, honey. He gets in fights. He's a mean gay, but like also his bio says like he's friendly and inviting, but then he gets mean, which kind of resembles like the typical experience of like gay men of being like, oh, you're nice, and then like you get what you want, you woohoo, and then like you're mean, but then like it's a whole like phase and cycle and things. He's a mean guy. So this is a Jocasta Bachelor who is Bella Goff's mother. I don't think she knows what who queer people are. I haven't played much of her, but I do feel like she's a straight woman for marrying Simus. Like girl. Judy Bunch, she's an ally. She married Jack. She understands the gays. Justine is straight. does she know about queerness though? Like, and when I say does she know about queerness, I mean like does she understand it? Like that includes like understanding the asexuals, getting non-binary people in their pronouns, you know? That's like what doesn't know about queerness, doesn't understand queerness. That's what that category means. Like they might know about gay people, but I don't think like they fully like comprehend. Like Jamie Jolina, she would get your pronouns right, but she'd also like be a little confused. Like she's got the spirit, but she would that makes her an ally. If you got the spirit, you're an ally. She's an ally. She would be there with her gender affirming care. She doesn't like know necessarily about like top surgery and the recovery time because that can be hidden. It shouldn't be, and as a medical practitioner, she should know, but she would be there with the right pronouns. So Justine, oh, she knows about queer people. She's an active woman. She's an ally. I think her and like Aisha could easily be friends, possibly. So this is LinkedIn Sekimoto. He's a single dad raising Sam all by himself. What is his sexuality? When I see LinkedIn, I notably notice the emo bang. And the emo bang, that is queer to me. That's a little to me, you know? So I feel like he's definitely queer. I'm not sure if he goes to Pride or not. Oh, he's an emo. He goes to Pride. Sorry, my confusion. The emo, he would be at the concert. Sweet Pickles performed in DC at World Pride, and like Doechii also performed. I saw Sweet Pickles' performance though of Hot to Go. He would be there cheering on the drag queens because it's a like an emo party aesthetic. He would get it. So this is Lisa Bunch. I don't know much about her. Can I zoom in? Because I feel like that is a face card. Like, I feel like she would be a bi drag queen. So she's queer, and she goes to Pride, obviously. This is Madison Van Watson. I don't feel like she knows what queerness is. I feel like she's very much, like, the perception I have of Madison Van Watson is very much like she accepts shitty men. I think it's because she doesn't know that she has options. I genuinely do. So there's a second one of her, but we're gonna ignore that. Marty, he is one of the very other options for Gigolo and Casanova. So he also does not really respect women, as seen in the Lepacy Let's Play. He also kind of goes military with the haircut. So I think Marty is queer, but doesn't go to Pride because he is one of the most like masculine men in Sunset Valley, and that does give me very queer vibes of like, why do you want muscles so bad? Like, that's the male gaze, honey, wanting to have all those muscles. So I'm saying that he's queer, and also because like he is very much into being a little bit of a Casanova. You know, a hole is a hole, right? So Michael Batchelor, he was raised with Jocasta, so I feel like he doesn't know what queerness is. Same with Simus. I feel like they're like kind of little conspiracy theories. Molly French, we know she's a queer woman because she lives with Fiona McIrish, the community. She definitely goes to Pride. Monica's another sporty lady, but I do think she's straight, and I think she's an ally. Morgana Wolf, how I would like to interpret her storyline is that like she was pushed into an early marriage with Thornton, and like he treats her all wrong and stuff. They realize they aren't compatible, and Morgana realizes she has other options. So I think she is queer, and she does go to Pride. Nancy, she's an ally in rainbow capitalism, right? Like she would be the person who like even now would be like, make our logo rainbow, and you'd be like, but it's 2025 and the recession is coming and the Republicans, and she's just like, I know, make our logo rainbow, you know, because she knows that she has to stick with human rights if she wants to keep getting money. Unlike Target, boycott Target. And if you have the ability to, and Amazon, if you have the ability to, if you can boycott and you have the ability to, please do. So this is Nick Alto. Nick is queer. He's absolutely open to men and non-binary people. I feel like he'd be the person, you know, that like post of like, you're like a curvy liberal, I'm a conservative, well, you know, we can make babies together. I feel like he'd be the person of like, you know, you're a queer person, I am this, I'll give you money. Like he'd be like a down low man. So like that mustache, he's a down low man. He's queer, doesn't go to Pride. Parker Lingerak. And I don't know. I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know about him. Because the hat gives very straight to me. So I feel like he doesn't know about queer people. Like, no. Pauline Wang, I fully see her as a queer woman of like she wants to get her sexual desires filled. Absolutely. She's with Hank because he's there for some time. But like they'll break it off because neither of them are they're not really monogamous. They're non-monogamous, which is queer. Which is queer. So I'm saying, and the hoops also I love. I'm thinking she threw the first brick at Stonewall. She was like non-monogamous representation too. Okay, the Pollys are here too. So this is River McIrish. She is Fiona McIrish's child. She goes to Pride. She's queer and goes to Pride. She goes with her mother. You know, this is Simus. Okay, the whole Bachelor family does not know about queer people. They're in my head they're conspiracy theorists, right? This is Styles McGraw. So this is a video I have to make. I actually have my first Sims 3 save file. And what I count as my first Sims 3 save file is when I like fully got into the Sims 3. So I still have it. And he was from the co-workers of one of my Sims. And like they were kind of like friends. They were just friends. And I feel like Styles, he's like another NPC that was made for like your Sim to possibly seduce. I feel like he's queer, doesn't go to Pride. Like he's a musician type, you know, he can get what he's into it. This is Susan Wainwright, so she is Boyd Wainwright's wife. Oh girl, let me zoom in on that lipstick. Oh, that's a dark lip. Oh yeah, she's queer. Queer women love a dark lip. You know, with Emma Hatch too. She's queer and goes to Pride. Tamara Donner. I've talked about my crush on Tamara Donner. You know, if we can also make a tier list of who in Sunset Valley does Grace have a crush on. So Tamara Donner, I believe she has a skirt, if I'm recalling correctly. And that skirt gives me like queer vibes. I feel like she could be like cottagecore lesbian. So I think she's queer. Is she queer and goes to Pride or queer and doesn't go to Pride? She's queer and doesn't go to Pride. Thornton Wolf. Thornton doesn't know about queerness. He's in his own head. He's like, he married a woman who is family oriented and wants children. Did y'all not even ask? Like, Morgana, did y'all not even ask? You're in your head, sir. Like, Morgana, she didn't think to ask because she has like that internalized like homophobia and also like that thought of like this is the correct life, I have to go in it. And then she married a man who doesn't want children. She's just like, I need to reevaluate my life. Tori. This is Tori Kimura. She is another like business woman. I adore her. I know she's queer. She's queer. Because she is not the person who would like tolerate a shitty man. She wants someone who is efficient. She wants someone who like she has standards. Unlike me. I admire her. I look up to her. So I feel like she's queer and doesn't go to Pride because she's too busy. Like I feel like her and Tamara would like date because I feel like they're both very ambitious people. But eventually they'd break up because I believe Tamara's like a little bit too childish. Victoria Andrews. She is Butte Andrews' wife. I don't know a lot about her, but like the braided crown, to me, I wanted that haircut. I never actually like really did it because when my hair was long enough, I always forgot to do it. And then I wake up my hair to short and I don't do it. I think she's a queer woman and I think she goes to Pride and I think she like gives off like flower crowns and stuff. So like, I think she does that. Vita Alto, she has that blush. And I'm counting that blush as like contour, like she's trying to like snatch her face. I feel like she's queer and goes to Pride and tell like her political platform and trying to be like, guys, vote for me. I support queer rights. And it's like, girl, the gays have never been oppressed in Sunset Valley. And she's like, yeah, but they might start doing it. So you should still vote for me. I'm the lesser of two possible evils. Even though she is evil, she still supports the gays. Olivia is queer and goes to Pride. Like the Joker, he wants to be a lever. He wants to be like a lever. Okay, I know the term is lever daddy, but this is also a teenager, so I don't feel comfortable calling him that. He wants to be into the lever scene. You know, that's appropriate. Xander, he doesn't know about queer people. He's just getting in fights. He's selling drugs. He's minding his business. Umi, I believe, is an ally. because I put her son in queer. Like, she saw his haircut and, like, originally fought against him. She was like, what is that? I want to see your eyes. Because an iconic thing that I feel like parents do, they're just like, I need to see your eyes. Why can't I see your eyes? Like, you get your hair out of your eyes. But she eventually accepted it, which is why he lives with her and has the haircut. Zelda May, she's a kooky queer woman. What can I say? She is a kooky queer woman. I feel like she's definitely queer and she definitely goes to Pride. I don't know if she threw the first brick at Stonewall though. You know what? I think she did. The flower in her hair. She has kind of a darker lip too. I think she'd be the person to like smash her guitar over a cop's head. Yeah. Cornelia, that's your goth girlfriend. Like, we love her. I do think that she was at Stonewall. I think she keeps it like hidden from Gunther, like he doesn't know. Malcolm's an ally. Like, he's a good guy. He's an ally. He supports the girls and the gays. No one is homophobic because that doesn't exist in Sunset Valley. And I play The Sims to escape from the world, and I refuse to admit that there might be homophobia in my Little Sims game. It is my escape, so they just don't know about queerness, or they are allies, or gay. Those are your options. You don't know, you're an ally, or you're gay. The end. If I had to say who threw the first brick at Stonewall the most, Fiona, because she supports the community, and then I feel like Jared, he'd be the second one, because he's just known for his violence. Then I could definitely see Gobias. I feel like Cornelia a little bit ahead of Pauline. And then I feel like Zelda was like on stage and she just like provided the music, provided like the ambiance at Stonewall, you know? So that is my tier list. If you have any arguments, comment down below who you think is queer in Sunset Valley. If you like more content like this, let me know. We can do other tier lists. A like, a subscribe, a comment means so much. Just watching means so much. So thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.